Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a special episode here on the VirtualBacon channel live stream. We are going live earlier today as we have a very special episode with two amazing guests today. So I'm here first with Jiayi Li from Y Strategy and Geek Cartel. And in about 20 minutes, we'll be joined by Zak Folkman, co-founder and COO of World Liberty Financial. This is going to be a packed episode today. So hope you guys will enjoy. And if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments and we will get to it at the very end. So to kick us off, we have a full session with Jiayi first. So I've been following WLFI for a while, even before their launch. And I know you have as well, Jiayi. So why don't you walk us through your background first and introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, so I'm Jiayi again, and I run Y Strategy. I'm the founder of Y Strategy. Y Strategy is a growth architect company, and I also run. I'm also co-founder of the Geek Cartel Venture. Before all of this, I was at Binance for 3 years, and after that, joined Polonas as a CMO. So I have 8 experiences in crypto industry, especially in marketing and investment experiences. My team works with WLFI Financial on the growth part, especially helping USD1 growth across the different markets, connecting Western and Asia community, and do the all the thing around the growth part. And honestly, the past 2 months working with the team has been amazing. I got to see their TVL increase crazy, right? From less than 3 billion to 5 billion in about only 1 month. And what that really impressed me wasn't the number, it's just the people. This team is super smart, and all the people have a really amazing background, but they work even harder than anyone I have seen. So I think that is a really real in the space. And one thing that make me really happy is I personally run a community campaign on Binance Square. Only 50K USD1 rewards program. And by the end of it, when I opened my Binance Square application, when I refresh, I found that over 30% of the live rooms were talking about USD1 and WLFI Financial. Yeah, nobody tell them how to do it. Nobody them tell what to say. So people were making their own streams. I think that is a really cool community culture that I have never seen that before. Yeah, so yeah. Very happy to be here today, and thanks, Dennis. Let's get into it.
Of course, and just for a bit of background for our audience as well. So, you guys were very generous to invite me to the World Liberty Financial Forum, and that was a great event. And honestly, it was the most put together event in first year for any crypto conference I've ever been to. It's a crazy experience. And I think that comes from, what people don't really see from just, holding coins and speculating is there's a lot behind the scenes. So I met most of the team there, and even though they have more than 10, 15 people, everyone's running around, always helping each other out. And I thought it would be completely different. I thought this is a, Trump family office project. They're heavily related, very connected, so they're relaxed. But no, these guys are very hardworking. So I did want to talk about the World Liberty Forum experience a little bit. So you guys were heavily involved in this process. Can you walk us through what your goal is and maybe what the general goal is for this conference? I understand it's going to be more iterations in future years, and they want to make it sort of a Davos of crypto. So walk us through the future plans of it.
Okay, so our team, Y Strategy, is the global marketing partner with WLFI Financial. And of course, definitely the WLFI Forum was a very big moment for us. And the head of marketing in WLFI, Sean, actually he's also my husband. I'm open to for this information because yeah, I'm the best choice for World TV Financial. And Sean was joined that before the forum, and he is helping like connect the peoples, making introductions. Actually, I believe you also know him in that forum. Yeah, and he is a person to get you into that room. So in a way, the whole conversation started because of these connections. And what my strategy is do is I just try to have anything to support WiFi, anything that need us. For example, like give some suggestion about the video, and also we also need to connect and introduce some more influencers, or like do some some we also have to design a very small campaign that we wanted to involve more, invite more WiFi community people to join that conference as well. Yeah, so what I heard from everyone we went, I didn't feel like that is a very simple crypto event. There's no shilling, no hype, just a very real conversation between very different kind of people, very traditional financial people, a lot of very joint traditional institutions people there, and crypto builders here, people from the governments also there. So you almost never see that very mixed way in one room. Yeah, so yeah, to be honestly, from what I saw and heard, that is all the people said that is amazing. That is the first one already feel like very different like that.
Yeah, that's what I felt as well. So usually there's just way more people pitching each other, but there it really wasn't. There were maybe 30% crypto people, but there were way more, TradFi and people just there to, they already know each other, and it's truly like a different kind of experience that I haven't felt before. Like meeting, what was it, the CEO of Goldman Sachs? That was pretty crazy. And yeah, we even got to like hear about some like FIFA alpha, which I think nobody really noticed, but maybe we'll get into that in a bit. Yeah, I did not think that was anything special, so I almost skipped that chat. But the president of FIFA, when he was talking, he said they want to do something in crypto, and I was like only there, and nobody caught on. So that's the kind of people that are like super powerful that were there. So I do want to keep us moving. So we covered the World Liberty Forum. Now, is this going to be an annual thing? And, around the same day, around the same time next year? What do you think?
I think it's better to ask Zach because
Okay.
I don't want to get ahead of any announcement. Yeah, but I'm very really surprised if this does like happen again. I believe maybe, but I cannot do any ahead of any
Okay.
announcement.
Sounds good. Then let's talk about your own macro thesis on crypto. So I understand this is very related to WorldFi and why you really believe in their project as well. So I read that you have a very policy-driven thesis on the crypto cycle for this upcoming cycle, specifically driven by U.S. government policy and Trump and his group giving the right policy and the right regulators, the right rails for businesses to execute in the US, for crypto businesses to flourish. So can you walk me through like what you think about this upcoming cycle from a macro perspective?
Okay, I'm quite I'm not OG, but I'm old enough. I have experience in crypto, so yeah, from the last cycle and even before the last cycle, what I say like this cycle feel like very very like it's totally different. Yeah, so I also post a tweet maybe last week, I thought. And some people said now is the bear market of the secondary market. But I believe that is the timing for the builder, as the bull market for the builders. So last cycle, I think more my personal experiences, all the people only tell the story, only the narrative, only the story, only like very like a formal sentiment all on the very like the narrative thing. We also can see some meme coin and the DeFi summer NFT happened. Yeah, exciting, but mostly about speculation. But this time is being driven by the real policy from the U.S. government, and that is changed everything. Let me give you some examples. So in the past year, the U.S. government did three very big things. I think the first is the 401k order. That means retirement money. Okay, trillions of dollars can go into digital assets. So that is not crypto people buying the crypto. That's the common people retirement fund coming in. So that is a very big signal. And the second part is the stablecoin laws are being made right now. Big institutions have been waiting for this. They need clear rules before they can move in. So now you can see the WLFI financial firm, there's a lot of very join the traditional institution. They prepare already to join in crypto. And the third part is WLFI financial applied for a bank license. Think about it. So a crypto project applying for a real banking license. So that is the big bet on where regulations is going. And I believe these three is exactly why I was so excited to work with WLFI Financial. When I look at the projects, I always ask one question: what's your real scenario, right? What problem you want to resolve? What are you building for where the market is going? So Wi-Fi is the team understand what happened in the policy part. They have the real connections to the people making the decisions. That is also very important thing that the other projects cannot have this kind of a connection. And the USD one is launching right time when the rules are being written. So this timing is not only about the lucky part. It's like a team is really get it. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. So that's I think the true unique advantage here is whatever the next policies are going to be, like not saying it has to be it's one person who makes the decisions, but you have to get very close to the decision makers, and this is about as close as it gets. So it really speaks about like what the future goals of policy in the US for crypto is: stable coins, rails, banking, all interconnected with each other. And that's, you will first start to see these being implemented in WorldFi, and then you'll see these things come up. So it's always going to be a market leader when it comes to these kind of stuff. So let's talk about the tailwind then. I think you covered this a little bit. So WorldFi is essentially riding the biggest macro tailwind in crypto history when it comes to US policy. This is roughly your thesis.
I'd say it's more than that. WorldFi didn't just get lucky with the timing. They built for this moment. They choose the moment. Everything like connects. USD one for stablecoin laws, bank license for the regulation part, and the government staking, so holders can have a real voice. Every piece fits the real policy move. So for the community part, here's how I think about it. In the past cycles, you bought a token and hope the story would watch on. And this time, the US government is building the story for you, right? For each of you. The question is, which projects are ready for it? I think the answer is pretty clear. And I believe WorldFi definitely is the leading for this.
Very cool. Okay. And we are just about to get into why strategy's role with WLFI. I really wanted to cover that. But we also have Zak in the room as well. So just wanted to say hi. And let's bring Zak on. How's it going, Zak?
Hey guys, good. Sorry I'm running a few minutes late. It's been a busy morning over here.
No worries. I've heard of your
nowhere
schedule.
I would rather be. Trust me.
Awesome. Yeah, another day, bright morning, talking about WLFI and USD1, right?
Always.
Cool. And I think we'll just get through this last question I really wanted to ask Jiayi, and then we'll do a whole deep dive on WLFI.
No worries.
So So Jiayi, I really wanted to say, like, how did you guys at Y Strategy get involved? I mean, what's your core role here in the WLFI and USD1 campaigns?
Oh, okay. So the first thing, okay, it's not because Zak is here, but I always love to say that WLFI has their very own real strong marketing team. But my role, or my strategy role, is we just try our best to provide anything, any ideas, any support from our side. It's not only about the promotion part. So last month, Zak also in Hong Kong during the Hong Kong consensus. So we also held a private lunch with the influencers in the Asia part, and we all got in together and to let more people to understand what WLFI does, and also Zak and also the other the team member join the lunch, and they have very strong personality, and all the influencers love WLFI team. Yeah, and also as I said before, I run 50K, not big rewards program on Binance Square in February, and by the end, over 30% of the all live rooms were streaming about USD1 and the Wi-Fi content. But here's what got me is we didn't tell anyone what to say, and people were making their own slide decks and their own explainer videos and teaching each other how USD1 works. And some community members put more effort into their content, more than some professional agency I worked with. So that I believe US WLFI, their own team, plus partners, we are only one of the partners, also part each of the community members, being together and become one WLFI. Yeah,
I know that question was for Jiayi, but just from our perspective, all of us founders at World Liberty, we're all based in the US, and so we know that we have a massive following all around the world, whether it's Latin America, Asia, Southeast Asia, Middle East, etc. And so obviously, I know looking at me, you probably would think my Mandarin is phenomenal, but actually it's not very good. And so one of the biggest values that Jiayi's brought to the table has been able to, work with us to kind of connect and build those communities in the Asian markets where we aren't native speakers, but we already have a lot of support. So she's been able to help organize, like she said, that luncheon that we attended in Hong Kong and hosted for a bunch of big influencers in the space, where we were able to come together, learn what they loved about, World Liberty, the projects we're building, et cetera, and then kind of help translate for us to them, for the ones that don't understand English, what we had to say as well, and kind of be that bridge between the American and the Asian communities that really all have the same vision and wanted to connect deeper. I mean, at the end of the day, community is really what drives success of any crypto project, community and adoption. And so being able to have a closer connection and build better relationships with our users, with the people who, like Jiayi said, are excited to go out there and create content on their own and put in all this effort just because they love and support the project. It really is helpful having her put that together and make those relationships stronger. So she's done a phenomenal job, and we're very lucky to have her.
I really appreciate that. What you say?
Yeah, I've felt this as well. Even here in North America, it's one group of people that tend to talk about in their own ways, what they think crypto is. But even looking at the Chinese community and sometimes like Korean community, there are different native crowds that are involved with this project, which is actually very interesting. I thought it'd be very North American, US focused, but no, it's totally global.
It's totally global. And, we have strong support, obviously, in the US, but we have strong support in Hong Kong, in Singapore, in Korea, in Latin America, in the Middle East. I mean, the thing is the vision that we set out to build is one that is, it's a global idea, right? The idea of taking traditional financial infrastructure, which along with a lot of the opportunities have not been available to the masses, and put it on blockchain technology and make it available to everyone, whether you have $5 or $500 million. Everyone should have the same access to the same tools, the same infrastructure, and the same technology. And so I think that's a message that not only people in crypto, but people all around the world really believe in. And it's what we've been working hard to achieve since we started the company a couple of years ago.
Awesome, man. So Zach, why don't you give us just a very brief introduction of yourself before we get into the nitty gritty. I understand you are one of the co-founders of World Liberty Financial and the current COO. So walk us through your background, 60 seconds, quick version.
Quick version. Okay. So yes, I'm one of the co-founders. There are many co-founders of World Liberty. We are a lot. Sorry. You guys getting feedback or no?
No worries. You're good now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there are many co-founders, many of whom you guys probably know already. We built this with the vision, like I said, to really make financial opportunities and infrastructure powered by blockchain and available to everyone around the world. My background, at least, I went to law school before getting into crypto. So I understood the contracts and transactions and all of that. And obviously, when it comes to crypto, I was aware of Bitcoin since 2012, 2013, whenever a lot of my friends played online poker. I wasn't a poker player, so I knew that they were using Bitcoin, but it didn't really, pique my interest. And then when I learned about Ethereum, read the white paper, understood the power of smart contracts and permissionless transactions, cross-border, et cetera, that was really the aha moment for me. And so been in crypto ever since about 2015, 2016, been around many of the most successful projects, invested in many of the most successful projects early on, and was lucky enough to have this opportunity to do this incredible project with an amazing group of people. And here we are.
Great, man. Thank you for that. And I did want to ask one thing that just dropped 30 minutes ago, and this was a USD1 Perps on AsterDEX. I haven't even had the time to go through the whole thing here yet, but I understand they just did a chain genesis on Aster for yesterday. So What is this news about? I would love to get into that.
Yeah, great question. This is something that we're obviously really excited about. Right now, BTC USD1, Ethereum USD1, and Solana USD1 Perps are now live on Aster. If you think about it, just for context, Aster is the second largest perp dex in the world, and they do over $1 billion. I think over almost $1.5 billion of daily volume. They have about $1.5 billion in TVL. They're multi-chain. They were backed early by Easy Labs, who has an amazing track record of, supporting some of the largest projects in the space. So for USD1, this is a really big moment because it gives us access to 2 million plus active trading users, multi-chain liquidity aggregation, and it really gives serious derivative market infrastructure to USD1, which is something that we've been really working towards for a long time. Anyone who's followed our journey has seen us go from, brand new stablecoin to listed with a couple spot, maybe just USDT, USD1 spot pair on Coinbase, Binance, Bybit, et cetera. From there, grew out to more major pairs and listings. And then obviously, perpetual pairs is the next logical step for deeper liquidity and more usage. And we have a bunch more pairs that'll be coming as well.
Yeah, I just really wanted to show everyone what I was referring to as well. This is like fresh news from 30 minutes ago. Aster is the #2 perp platform right now with by volume, and for USD1, this is much deeper liquidity for derivatives trading and access to 2 million plus traders and multi-chain exposure. But really for me, this is just one vertical that I've seen USD1 being adopted on. There's so many more that we can get into, which is what I think is very impressive. Not only is it for trading, for DeFi, but prediction markets, AI, and not also TradFi links that we have already seen at World Liberty, the forum. So this is probably the biggest and fastest adoption curve that I've seen of a stablecoin ever.
Thank you. It means a lot. Obviously, this sort of adoption and growth doesn't happen by accident, right? I mean, we have an incredible team. Everybody's working round the clock to make this happen, to pursue partnerships, to pursue new opportunities, and really just focus on the things that we know not only are big for stablecoins today, but for where stablecoins are going over the next 1, 3, 5, 10 years. So we're building for today, but we're also building for the future.
Very cool. I also saw from interacting with you that you are pushing very big into the agentic economy with AI agentic payments. So you recently teased that WLFI is working to make USD1 kind of the de facto agent native stablecoin for payments. So walk us through how you plan to do this and what really sets it apart.
Yeah, this is a really exciting. You were at the forum at Mar-a-Lago, right?
Yeah.
So I think you probably saw the demo that I did at the end of the day where I showed like our Agentic SDK and dashboard for developers. Mm-hmm. So I hope my team doesn't freak out, but we are actually going live with our SDK within the week. I'm hoping it's this week. If not, it'll be next week. And we believe that the way that we're approaching the AI narrative is a way that none of the other stablecoin issuers are doing it. Obviously, Circle's released X402, and that's great for agent-to-agent payments. But we believe that what we're building and the way we're building it is not only more native for the way people are currently using it's like OpenClaw today. Sorry, you guys getting that feedback?
Go ahead. No, good enough.
Okay. So I was just saying, we believe that the way that we're approaching it and we're building for USD1, our agentic payment platform, our SDK, et cetera, which will be fully open source, is actually more in line with the way that people are actually using agentic models today, like OpenClaw, et cetera. And we believe that, we're really going to have a leg up on the competition. We're very deferential to what Circle's been able to do. I mean, they've been an incredible company to watch grow. And, they've done a great job over the years of basically being very regulatory compliant, which is something that we also are very focused on doing. But, if you take a look at their market cap today, which is around $80 billion, like I haven't looked today, and ours is $4.5 billion, obviously there's a gap there. But the one thing that we believe that we're on equal footing for is to win the race for agentic payments, because all of this stuff just came out like within the last few months. So we're all really starting at the same point. And they had a short jump on us with releasing X402, but we believe between the SDK that we're rolling out and something else that's coming out right behind it within a week or two behind it, which I'll save that for a later announcement. Maybe we'll come back and talk about it when it's live. We believe we'll already jump ahead of them in terms of usability, in terms of ecosystem adoption, and it's something that we're really excited for. And, just to point out, I believe right now Circle has about 98% of the agentic payment space on stablecoins. But if you look at what that is, it's about $50 million worth of transactions. And so, if you look at USD1, we do over $1 billion to $2 billion in trading volume per day. And we believe that we're going to very quickly capture not only a large percentage of the market, but shoot past the transaction volume simply because of the way that we're approaching it.
Very cool. I mean, and it took him so many years to get to this point, and it just took you guys like 1 year, and USD1 it's barely 1 year, and now we are already tackling all the verticals. I don't know if
sorry, I think my camera. I got a call that.
Okay.
My camera.
No worries.
I apologize.
You're good.
I said from the voicemail, don't worry. I told them, don't mess with me. I'm talking to Jiayi and VirtualBacon. So yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like USD1 is about 1 year old, give or take, a few weeks right now in terms of when we went live with it. And we're already at $4.5 billion of market cap. And, we trade anywhere from like $1 to $3 billion of trading volume a day, which is incredibly high when you look at the trading volume to market cap ratio compared to our competitors. But it took Tether, I believe, 5 years to reach a $2 billion market cap. And it took Circle 3.5 years to reach a $2 billion market cap. And at 1 year, we're sitting at a $4.5 billion market cap. So I think part of that is obviously thanks to the market itself and the general adoption of stablecoins that's given us, kind of a playing field where people are ready to adopt new stablecoins and use stablecoins. There's more use cases. But you have to be crazy to ignore the fact that a lot of it has to do with our incredible team, the way we're approaching this, the way that we're developing partnerships, and the fact that we, have a very clear goal in mind and we won't stop until we absolutely smash it.
I have a quick question for Jiayi as well. So I know that you guys handle so many marketing campaigns in your day-to-day. And what do you think is the most beneficial so far for USD1 from doing live streams on Binance Square and working with Myriad, working with different prediction markets, Aster now? Can you just give us like the brief overview of what you think about the adoption on USD1, how it has been over the past year from really marketing perspective, and what you look forward to the most going forward? Like what kind of verticals should we go after next? So not to put you on the spot. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah.
You're good.
My Wi-Fi is it's not that it works. Okay. Yeah, please.
Yeah. So because you have all the context about USD1's partnership with different platforms, and I know this Aster news was really something that you guys worked heavily on. Mm-hmm. And I also saw there's something called Apex Group, which is people are not as familiar in crypto. So can you walk us through that a little bit? I'm really curious what you think.
Okay, so because some problem with my Wi-Fi, so I want to talk about the Aster part, but so Aster, the only one thing I want to talk is please know two things about the Aster USD1 trading pair. The first thing is the trading fee on USD1 trading pair are actually cheaper than USDT. Remember, this thing is very important. So this is the benefit, okay? And the second thing is like World TV Financial, they always do a lot of rewards. Thanks for the community who support USD1 adoption. That means the people who trade USD1 trading pair or like hold USD1. So also on Aster, they also do a lot of this kind of campaign. So all the people you can like see, you can like stare on the all the like campaign news about it. Yeah, and Aster is very, very popular with the Chinese speaking traders. So which is one of the most active groups in crypto. So getting USD1 in there as a base pair means the real use case, the real volume, and the people have a USD one, and they can have more scenario to use it, and even can like more scenario to earn money. That is a very big thing, and that's really a kind of like a growth thing. Yeah.
Very cool. And Zach, I really wanted to ask you as well. I saw this strategic collaboration with Apex Group, which is a $1 trillion asset service firm. Can you walk us through that part?
Yeah, of course. So Apex Group is one of the largest fund and asset managers in the world. It's very well known in the TradFi space, probably less known in the crypto space because they haven't done a lot on blockchain until now. They manage $3.5 trillion of assets. Trillion, not million, not billion. I mean, that's a massive amount of assets that they have under management. And so they're exploring ways, and we're exploring ways together to have all sorts of things that they manage, all the different projects paired to USD1 so that people who want to transact on chain can get subscriptions and redemptions in USD1 and make it interoperable with fiat currency for their asset management. So we have a couple projects that we're working on right now that will be sort of like pilot programs with them. And we feel very strongly that they'll be successful just because they're very obvious no-brainers. So as we demonstrate success with those projects, we believe that we're going to do more and more with them and, become their default stablecoin of choice.
Very cool. And this is a long-standing pattern that I've observed from you guys' adoption. It's not only in crypto for platforms, but for bringing real assets on chain, partnering with existing ventures who do so much outside of crypto. That is very impressive that you guys are able to lock these down very quickly.
Thank you. I mean, I think it's just because we have a different approach, like the way that we view stablecoin growth. Obviously, all of the stuff inside crypto, like spot listings, perpetuals, DEX, DEXs and aggregators like Aster and whatever, it's important. But if you look at the total addressable market, crypto is still very small when you compare it to all of the other industries out there that rely on financial transactions, like real estate, like financial technology. I mean, the list just goes on and on. And so while we're very conscious of building out the crypto ecosystem with partnerships like Aster, with partnerships like Binance and Coinbase, and all of the crypto native platforms, both CeFi and DeFi, we're also looking outside of that. And we're focused on 3 key areas, which you probably remember that I talked about at the forum, but for everybody who wasn't there or didn't watch the talk, the 3 areas that we believe are going to be the biggest drivers for growth of USD1 outside of crypto are, number 1, real world asset tokenization denominated in USD1. So subscriptions, redemptions, assets being held in USD1 against, real world assets. The second, we talked about a little bit already, which is the agentic payments. This is a total addressable market that we have no idea how big it's going to be, but I think everybody in tech and crypto feels very strongly that it's the future. And when this many people are, on the same page, it's very unlikely that we're all wrong. And then the final pillar of what we're really looking to build here outside of crypto is something that I also spoke about at the forum, which is foreign exchange remittances, which is currently a $7 to $7.5 trillion a day market of funds moving across the borders. And the fees that get charged for moving these funds across the border are outrageous. And it's got nothing to do with the foreign exchange rate. It has everything to do with middlemen taking anywhere from 6 to 8% to facilitate that transfer. And so, all of us on this call and, all of your listeners probably understand that blockchain can solve for all of that and be faster, cheaper, and more efficient for foreign exchange remittances. So because we're approaching it as crypto, but also bringing assets on chain, like we were talking about with Apex Group, agentic payments, like we were talking before, and the idea of foreign exchange remittances, we're not viewing it as, okay, we need to go capture market share from competitor A or competitor B. We're looking at how can we grow the whole pie for everybody, because a rising tide lifts all boats. So we're really going after a much bigger piece of business than just what exists today in crypto.
Yeah, I think that's very unique for stablecoin adoption. We have to move out of just pure DeFi crypto trading because there's only so many use cases there, and most of them have been solved. It's more than a decade of stablecoins existing there, and players who just come and go all the time, only tackling DeFi, do not survive for multiple cycles. So I think that's definitely the right approach. I wanted to ask really briefly about the staking plan rollout as well. So I saw this is one of the most popular topics in the WLFI community at the moment, and it has like very high approval rate to get this through. So what does this program aim to accomplish? And there are like node tiers and different benefits that associate with them. So just high level, like give us a overview of why this program is designed this way and how you think about people can benefit from this.
Sure. So really for us, the main focus of the WLFI token has always been a governance token. And so because, we've had governance votes that, people participate in or don't, we realized we started thinking how can we make it so that everybody wants to participate in governance and people who are holding the token feel tied to actually their voice matters. And obviously, you can vote and your voice matters, but everyone likes to be incentivized. So the thought was, let's shift governance from something that anyone with the WLFI token, can participate in and give them the option to stake it, earn rewards for staking, and show that they're committed to the direction and the governance of the general platform. So that was the real idea. Obviously, everyone in crypto loves staking. And so we figured if people want to get, a reward, let's tie it to something that's very important and meaningful for the growth of the community, which is the governance itself. So that was at the heart of the proposal, was to make it so that in order to participate or in the staking rewards, you have to commit to being part of the governance voting process, which is at the core of everything we do. And then beyond that, we have different tiers. The other thing that we looked at was during our recent growth from about 2.5 billion to at one point we were 5.6 billion. Now we're 4.5 billion, whatever our market cap is. That growth happened in about a month to 2 months. And what we realized was a lot of the market makers and institutional players out there were capturing a lot of benefit from being able to have direct mint and redemption access on USD1. And so what we thought was, why not give people who participate in staking at a certain level, because obviously, you can't have somebody who's going to mint and redeem $5. It's not that we don't want to support them, but it's just not logistically feasible right now. Maybe in the future it will be. But for people who stake, let's just say $1 million worth of WLFI tokens or more, let's give them the opportunity to participate and have direct one-to-one mint and redemption, and give them the opportunity as community members to capture that spread that traditionally on any other stablecoin project is reserved only for market makers and institutional players. So it's just one more way that we're looking to always have our community be able to benefit from all of the growth and adoption of our products. And it's something that we've done from the beginning and will continue to do, whether it's through this proposal or future proposals. We're always thinking about how can we give more benefits and more utility to the WLFI token holders who are really at the center of the community. And then so that's the idea of nodes. People who have $1 million plus of WLFI staked are eligible to run a node, which gives them access to that one-to-one mint redemption. And then beyond that, we also have the concept of super nodes, which is basically anyone who stakes $5 million worth of WLFI or more. They also obviously get the benefits of regular nodes, which is the mint and redemption and the ability to capture the spread on the trading. But also because our team literally gets so inundated with requests for opportunities and business and this, that, and the other thing. And, we'd love to be able to talk to everybody, but obviously, it's just not feasible. What we wanted to do was have people who showed strong commitment to the ecosystem by staking, say, $5 million. And again, this is not expected to be the average, just an average holder, right? Because an average holder, that's holding to participate in governance or whatever. They're not looking for business relationships. The type of person or institution that's looking for a business partnership or relationship is somebody who can afford to stake, $5 million worth of tokens to run a supernode. And basically, the idea there is that they get like guaranteed access to our business development team so that they can actually talk to the people on our team who are putting the partnerships together and have the ability to have the conversation with the right person on the team, that is working on that particular area, whether it's an exchange partnership, whether it's a DEX partnership, a DeFi partnership, a prediction market, you name it. There's so many of these different projects out there, and it's very common for businesses to be nodes or run nodes on behalf of other projects that they're partners with. So that was the real idea behind the super nodes, is give priority access to our business development team to the people that are supporting the ecosystem, participating in the ecosystem, and staking WLFI tokens at a reasonable size.
Very cool. I think that like middle tier for 1 million to 5 million like redemption, that is something that that specific group of investors will really appreciate, because you're not really you don't have to be institutional level, but during a big liquidity event, you have full access to what the stablecoin is meant to be, and that's cool.
Exactly. And the truth is, again, our goal is to support everybody, whether you have $1 of WLFI or 100 million of WLFI. Like, we treat everybody and value everybody equally. But the reality of market dynamics is, if you don't have a certain amount of cash, or not cash, but a certain amount of stable coins or assets, it's going to be very difficult to be able to participate in that arbitrage on stable coins. Like, it just doesn't make sense to do it with $100 or even $1,000. The returns they're not that big. We're talking a few bips, like a few basis points. So it needs to be done in some sort of significant size. And there are plenty of retail investors, that have $10 to $50 million of assets that they're looking to use and deploy. And arbitraging a stable coin between, let's say, USD1 and USDT at times of growth is there's no such thing as risk-free, but it's a low risk way to get a return on your assets. So it's something that we've seen. This was an idea, by the way, that was brought to us by community members. This is not something that we envisioned and thought people would like. I mean, this was just from direct feedback that we got from meeting with a lot of the people who are already WLFI token holders, and something that they wanted to participate in. So we thought it was a great idea, and we ran with it.
Yeah, I can totally see a use case for that. I've heard of my partners who saw the opportunity between USDC and USD1 before, USDT before, in like the last bear market when there was big volatility, but there was no proper off ramp, and they can't really set up a like institutional account right away. So this will solve that right away. It's totally DeFi native.
Great. My team just messaged me, just said our live stream suddenly.
So it dropped on X, but we'll have the upload on X. We're still live on YouTube. Yeah, because it's running late on schedule. We are covering a lot of topics here. So yeah, Zach, I also don't want to take all your time. So we really wanted to get to the product and roadmap, and really what you think the most impactful things coming up are. So there are all kinds of things to talk about here: worldwide markets, RWA product suite. You have your debit card and retail app, and you have like different RWA tokenization fronts happening right now. So in your perspective, like, what do you think is the most impactful things people should be looking out for USD1?
I mean, it's so hard to sit here and give a short version, because not only do we have so much stuff that we're working on, a lot of this stuff is literally about to come out or is coming out right now. So it really depends on what your listeners are interested in, because, even in crypto, people have very different interests, whether it's DeFi, RWAs, agentic payments, etc. And we have something for everybody that's coming. For example, Aster is pretty exciting. That just went live today. In addition to the pairs that we mentioned, the BTC, ETH, and Solana pairs, we have a whole bunch more that are going to be coming out behind it, like BNB, WLFI, Ripple, USDC, USDT. I mean, the list just keeps going on. We have more listings that are going to be coming, hopefully seeing a bunch of perp pairs across some of the major centralized exchanges as well. So I would say on the USD1 side and trading side, I think that's probably the first up. We also, we announced it at the forum, but we have the Trump Maldives tokenization project that we're doing in collaboration with DAR Global and the Trump org. That's really exciting because it's the first demonstration of how a property that pays a fixed yield through a development, giving access to a whole new asset class to everybody in crypto, is going to be received, and we think it's going to do very well. So we're very excited about that. We have a lot of other tokenization projects that are very unique and exciting that are being worked on right now that'll come after that. The agentic payment stuff is something that I'm very excited about. I love AI and agentic models. It's something that I leverage every single day in my own, life. So getting to see how we really tackle that market and see how the market receives it is something that we're very excited for. And we're going to be paying very close attention to what the market and the users think about that and how the community really receives it and what feedback they give so that we can continue to develop it for the people. Again, this is something where, the agentic payment space will dictate what it needs. It's not something where we can create something and tell people go use this. So we're going to have to be very in tune with what the feedback is and what the desire and what the changes that we need to make in order to have the response that we really want to see. So that's coming out, let's say within the week, with additional and the first release is not it. It's just getting it out, getting something out there to get that initial feedback. But we have a lot of consistent rollouts in the AI agentic payment space. Once it's like Pringles. Once we pop, the fun won't stop. So the agentic payment stuff is something that we're really excited about. Markets has been massively well received. It's only been live for 2 months, 3 months, and already we have hundreds of millions of dollars in assets supplied. I think we're approaching almost $1 billion now, and the usage rate is really high too, which is something we're very proud of. Obviously, if you just supply assets, but nobody's borrowing them, it doesn't show organic demand. But if you look at the actual usage rate, I think it's around 70, 80% utilization. That shows that there's real organic demand. And, I think it's a time where people are really looking for new lend and borrow markets in the space. I think it's ripe for disruption. So we have a lot of partnerships that will focus on markets coming out. We have a few other big announcements that I can't really talk about yet in terms of big partnerships, but as soon as I can, I will. It's nonstop. I'm telling you, we could be here for another half hour talking about what we have coming out just in the next few weeks and months. It's crazy.
So there is one thing, now that you speak of it. So at the forum, I know Jiayi and Sean both talked about this as well a little bit in our chats. I totally missed this, but the president of FIFA was there, and he actually was a crypto fan. He wanted to have he says we need a world digital currency, and FIFA wants to do something. Any comments on that?
We'll wait and see.
Okay, we'll take that.
FIFA is very interested in the space. I think they understand where things are heading. They're very smart. They've done an amazing job at building one of the most recognizable brands in the world. And let's see what they're cooking up.
Very cool. Totally missed that myself as well, just sitting there. But I think this will be really exciting. So thank you for commenting on that as well. Any last questions or feedback or things you want to mention to us, Zak and Jiayi as well?
I'm good. I think we covered a lot. I could sit here and talk about it all day, but then I wouldn't be able to get back to what I love doing, which is just building and shipping products. And as you can tell, we have a lot of products that are getting ready to get shipped in the next week. We really want to work on getting that governance proposal staking mechanism live as soon as possible. Obviously, it requires some smart contract edits and as well as audits. So the team's already working on that. We'll have that announced when the staking goes live as soon as it's ready, which will be very soon. I mean, we're prioritizing that. Obviously, anything that's a community vote is something that we're going to, put a lot of attention on, making it a priority. So as soon as the smart contract updates are done and it gets done being audited so that everybody feels confident from a security standpoint, we will have the staking protocol live. And yeah, just really, really excited to, really show people what it is that we've been building in silence over the last year while we've been growing USD1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, also I feel very happy to have this can I say AMA live stream here, and I think other people like you should like put World Liquidity Financial put in your watch list. I believe World Liquidity Financial is one of the most potential projects like in the next 3 years, I think, because the first thing is the real scenario, real use cases, real adoption, and also have the power to win the market. And the most amazing thing is I really believe AI area will change a lot, will change crypto and also the traditional like finance part. I believe USD1 will win the market for the stablecoin stablecoin adoption in AI area. So yeah, let's go and see. And I have truly fully believe in World Liquidity Financial.
Awesome. Thank you guys for the full background and context. And we have covered a lot of grounds today. And I think the community got a lot of not only takeaway from previous adoptions, but also things to look forward to in the future as well. And I totally agree. From a macro standpoint, you want to be at the forefront of crypto policy, and from AI, Agentic, well, it's all happening here in the US. So this is the place to be. And if there's any one stablecoin that's growing as fast and proving itself to be adopted everywhere, it's USD1 at the moment. So really glad to be having you guys here on the chat today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure. You came to our forum, so now it's nice to come to your backyard and do it your way.
Of course. Yeah. And thank you again for joining me. This was a great conversation. And for all of our listeners and for all of our audience, please check out the World Liberty Financial Platform and for all current and future ways to use USD1, the stablecoin, and follow their socials for the latest updates and partnership verticals that are coming out. There's a lot more coming, trust me. And
you're gonna want to go follow us on Twitter this week for sure, at World Liberty Fi. Go check us out.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm VirtualBacon, and catch you guys on the next video and next live stream. Have a good day.
Yes.